Hello children, welcome to my channel Learn with Love. In this class we are going to learn subject-verb agreement. For a happy married life, a husband must always agree with whatever the wife says, right? Likewise, for a sentence to be grammatically correct, the verb should always agree with the subject. And we are going to learn how to do that. I have divided this class into two sessions. The first session covers the basic and the second session is about some special cases. But before we start, I have a suggestion. You see in this video, I talk about nouns, verbs, pronouns and conjunctions without actually explaining them because we learnt all these in our previous classes. But if you haven't attended those classes, I am leaving links in the description box. Please check them out because they are the basics. The topic for today, subject-verb agreement, helps us speak and write grammatically correct English. So please give it your full attention. Come, let's learn subject-verb agreement with love. First, let's learn what a subject is. Subject is either something that is described in a sentence or it is something that is doing the action in a sentence. This can be clearly understood with the following example. Sammy is learning to play the piano. Who is doing the action here? Who is learning to play the piano? It is Sammy. So Sammy is the subject in this sentence. Subject is something that does the action. Look at this sentence. Sandra is a tall woman. Who is described in this sentence? Sandra. She is described as a tall woman. So children, in this sentence, Sandra is the subject. Remember, a subject is also something that is described in a sentence. A subject is something that does the action or something that is described in a sentence. Let's look at a few more examples. The dog and the cat are sick. What is this sentence about? Is it about the dog or the cat? It is about both, right? Because this sentence describes the state of both the dog and the cat. What are sick? The dog and the cat are sick. So that is the subject in this sentence. Notice that this subject talks about more than one noun. This type of subject is called compound noun. That means more than one noun is connected with a conjunction. His leg is fractured. Before finding out the subject in the sentence, I'll give you a tip. When looking for the subject in a sentence, look for the verb first and then put the questions who and what in front of the verb. In this sentence, the verb is fractured. What is fractured? His leg is fractured and that is the subject. Sandy and his friends are partying. Who are partying? Sandy and his friends, right? So that is the subject. And then there is verb. We have already learnt about verbs in our previous two classes. It's an action word. It is the most important part of any sentence because a sentence is never complete without a verb. And also a verb shows tenses. That means when an action happened. Now that we know what a subject and a verb is, let's learn what subject-verb agreement means. See children, it's very simple. It means that if the subject in a sentence is singular, then the verb also should be singular. Likewise, if the subject is plural, the verb also should be plural. Singular means one and plural means many or more than one. Easy, right? Singular subject, singular verb. Plural subject, plural verb. Usually to form plural of a subject, we would simply add an yes, like this. Boy, boys. Sparrow, sparrows. Mountain, mountains. But with a verb, it is exactly the opposite. Singular verb takes an yes and plural verb doesn't. If you can just understand this simple concept, subject-verb agreement is going to get so much easier for you. Sleeps with an yes is a singular verb and sleep without yes is a plural verb. Thinks with an yes is a singular verb and think is a plural verb. Reads with an yes is a singular verb and read is a plural verb. So remember, a singular verb ends in an yes and plural verbs do not take an yes. It is the exact opposite of a noun. Let's look at some examples. My friend watches a movie. What is the subject in this sentence? Who is this sentence about? It is about my friend. That is the subject. It is a singular subject because it describes one friend. Now the singular subject takes the singular verb watches. Remember, a singular verb ends with s, watches. My friends like basketball. Here the subject is my friends. It is a plural subject. So it should take a plural verb. That means a verb without an yes. Like. Dogs run fast. This sentence has a plural subject, dogs, and it takes the plural verb, run. The car costs a lot. The car is a singular subject and it takes the singular verb, costs. So remember this, children, a singular subject should take a singular verb and a plural subject should take a plural verb. But a singular verb ends in s and a plural verb does not take an yes. So now you have an idea on subject-verb agreement, right? I have a few questions here for you. Pause the video, think about what the correct answers would be and then resume the video. Let's discuss the answers after that. Number 1. The students dash to realize the value of time. Here the subject is the students. It is plural. So we must choose the plural verb. Plural verbs don't take an yes. So the answer is need. The students need to realize the value of time. My parents dash to go on picnics. This sentence again has a plural subject. My parents. Plural subjects should take a plural verb and the plural verb should not end in yes. So the answer is like. My parents like to go on picnics. In the third sentence, the subject is contractor. It is a singular subject, so we must choose a singular verb. Remember, singular verb ends with an yes. So the correct answer is seems. The contractor seems to understand the laborer's plight. Number 4. The officer dashed the car carefully. The officer, singular subject. Drives, singular verb. The officer drives the car carefully. Some pests, plural subject. Eat, plural verb. Some pests eat the leaves. The market caters to people who live in the area. This is what subject-verb agreement is all about. Easy, right? Sometimes the subject can also be a pronoun. A pronoun is a word used instead of a noun. Instead of the noun Ram, we can say he. Instead of the noun Sita, we can say she. Instead of the noun car, we can say it. I, we, you, he, she, it, they, all these are pronouns. And these pronouns can be divided into 3 types. First person pronouns, second person pronouns and third person pronouns. What is first person pronouns? It indicates the one who speaks. The first person pronouns are I and we. Note here that I is singular, as in I am a boy, and we is plural, as in we are best friends. Second person pronoun is you. It refers to the person who is addressed or who is spoken to. You can be used as a singular and plural subject. For example, you are a sweet kid. Not just for example, you really are a sweet kid. Here you refers to one person. You are all good students. Here you refers to many. Third person pronouns are he, she, it and they. They are used to indicate a third party in a conversation. Notice that here he, she and it are singular and they is plural. This is the most important part. I have highlighted the third person singular alone in red. Let's memorize it quickly. He, she, it. Repeat after me. He, she, it. Again. He, she, it. Very good. Listen carefully, my dears. In pronouns, only third person singular, he, she and it takes a singular verb. You clear with the idea? Good. We have already learned that verbs are divided into main verbs and helping verbs. In helping verbs, is, was and has are singular verbs and are, were and have are plural verbs. These are easy to remember because as always the singular verbs end with yes. Of these helping verbs, was and were are used in past tense and the rest in present tense. We'll learn this in detail while learning tenses. Now repeat after me loudly please, because saying it loud helps us memorize it easily. We are, you are, he is, she is, it is, they are. Notice here the third person singular which we memorized, he, she and it alone takes singular verbs. Read with me. We were, you were, he was, she was, it was, they were. Here also only the third person singular he, she and it takes the singular verb was. Read aloud. I have, we have, you have, he has, she has, it has, they have. Only the third person singular takes the singular verb has. Now let's try one with the main verb. Read aloud after me. I play, we play, you play, he plays, she plays, it plays, they play. Here also only the third person singular takes the singular verb. Now there are two exceptions. The first person pronoun I takes the verbs am and was. I am, I was. Other than this, it takes only the plural verb. Don't worry now. If you remember only this, it's enough. Third person singular pronouns, that is he, she and it alone takes singular verbs. Now let's try to apply what we have learned so far. I've got some questions for you here. Pause the video, think what the correct answer would be and then resume the video to check if your answers are correct. Okay, before we start discussing the answers, just remember this. Only the third person singular pronouns he, she and it takes a singular verb. I repeat, singular verb only for he, she and it. And also singular verbs end with an yes. Now let's discuss the answers for these questions. We have to fill in these blanks with the correct form of verb. Number 1, he dash in Mumbai. He is third person singular pronoun. So it takes singular verb. A singular verb ends in yes. So the answer is was. He was in Mumbai. They dash a pool. The subject they is not third person singular. So we should not use a singular verb. What is the plural verb here? Have or has? It is have. They have a pool. Number 3. I go to the park every day. You look beautiful. You are an intelligent kid. We are leaving for Shimla tomorrow. See children, the subjects in these last 4 sentences, I, you again and we, they are not third person singular pronouns. So we are using the plural verbs go, look, are and again are. Remember, plural verbs don't end with an yes. Number 7, it dash not a great plan. It is a third person singular pronoun. So we have to choose a singular verb. It is not a great plan. So now you may have a clear idea about what subject-verb agreement is. Now let's learn about few exceptions or few special cases. Look at this sentence. Sanjay and Raj dash passed the test. When answering these type of questions, we'll have a confusion. Sanjay is a singular subject. Raj is a singular subject. But there are 2 subjects in this sentence. So should we use singular verb or a plural verb? In these cases, we have to use the plural verb. When 2 subjects are connected with an, we have to treat it as a plural subject. Sanjay and Raj have passed the test. Anand and Rucha. It is a compound subject. 2 subjects are connected with and. Since there are 2 subjects, it is considered as plural. So we have to use the plural verb. Anand and Rucha are collecting donations. But sometimes a compound subject refers to one idea, like when we talk about bread and jam or about idli and sambar. In such cases, we use singular verb. Toast and jam is a very common breakfast. 2 and 2 equals 4. As we learned already, compound subjects are made up of more than one noun connected by a conjunction. We just saw which verb we should use if 2 nouns are connected with the conjunction and. Now we are going to learn about 3 more conjunctions. They are either or, neither nor and not only but also. See children, either or means this or that. If I say either you or your friends have broken the toy, then I mean one of you has done it. Neither nor means not this, not that. So when I say neither you nor your friends have broken the toy, then I mean that both of you did not do it. Not only but also means both. Not only you but also your friends have broken the toy means both you and your friends have done it. So either or means one of the two, neither nor means no one, and not only but also means both. Since we are clear with that, let's learn which subject would agree with these type of subjects. Look at this example. Neither the students nor the teacher dash interested in the trip. In this sentence, there are 2 subjects, students and teacher, and they are connected with the conjunction neither nor. Neither the students nor the teacher. Notice that one subject is plural and the other is singular. The subject students is plural and the subject teacher is singular. In such cases, what should we do? Should we use a singular verb or a plural verb? Not to worry, just remember this. In such cases, the verb should agree with the subject which is closer to it. In this sentence, the verb is closer to the subject teacher which is singular. So we use the singular verb was. Neither the students nor the teacher was interested in the trip. Now the same sentence can be rewritten like this. Neither the teacher nor the students dash interested in the trip. Here, which subject is closer to the verb? It is students. It is a plural subject. So we use the plural verb were. Neither the teacher nor the students were interested in the trip. Either the teacher or the students dash responsible for the sub-project. Look at the subject closest to the verb. It is students. The verb should agree with this subject. Since it is plural, we use the plural verb are. Either the teacher or the students are responsible for the project. Either the students or the teacher is responsible for the project. We use the singular verb is because the subject closer to it, teacher, is singular. Not only the kid but also the dog was happy about the new park. Not only the puppy but also the kids were excited about the new kennel. In these sentences also the verb agrees with the subject that is closer to it. So children, when a compound subject is connected by either or, neither nor, or not only but also, the verb agrees with the noun which is closest to it. Was that easy? I have some questions for you. Come, let's try it out. Pause the video, think about what the answers would be and then resume the video for answers. Number 1. Either Mr. Sundar or Mr. Rajesh dash wrong. Here the subjects are Mr. Sundar and Mr. Rajesh. These subjects are connected with the conjunction either or. In this case, the verb should agree with the subject which is closer to it. Here the subject closest to the verb is Mr. Rajesh. It is singular, so we use the singular verb yes. Either Mr. Sundar or Mr. Rajesh is wrong. Number 2. Either the management or the teachers dash to take a decision. The answer is plural verb have because the subject closest to it, the teachers, is plural. Either the management or the teachers have to take a decision. Number 3. Neither vans nor a bus has been hired. Number 4. Not only Sona but also her friends want to read the book. We use the plural verb want because the subject closest to it, her friends, is plural. Remember, plural verbs don't end with yes. Number 5. Sanjay and Rama are best friends. Some sentences begin with the word there. In such cases, the verb should agree with the noun or pronoun that follows it. Look at the following example. There dash too many people on the van. Since this sentence begins with the word there, we have to look for the noun or pronoun that follows. See, there are two nouns in this sentence, people and van. We have to select the noun which immediately follows the verb. It is people, plural. So we have to use the plural verb are. There are too many people on the van. There dash someone waiting to meet you. The pronoun that immediately follows the verb is someone, singular. So we use the singular verb is. There is someone waiting to meet you. Okay. What does a pair mean? A pair means one pair. So any sentence that begins with the words a pair would take only singular verb, like in this sentence. The new pair of scissors is useless. My new pair of shoes dash missing. Now we know that the noun shoes is plural, but the sentence starts with the phrase pair. That means one. So we have to use the singular verb. My new pair of shoes is missing. If a subject begins with the phrase a lot of, phrase just means a group of words. So when a subject begins with the words a lot of, we should use a singular verb if the noun following it is uncountable and a plural verb if the noun is countable. Remember, singular verb for uncountable and plural verb for countable. It is very easy really when we learn with examples. A lot of students are under stress nowadays. A lot of anger is directed against the leader. In the first sentence, the noun following the phrase a lot of is students. It is countable and so we use the plural verb are. Likewise, in the second sentence, the noun following the phrase a lot of is anger, uncountable. So the singular verb is used. Let's look at a few more examples. A lot of hard work dash done by me. Here, hard work is an uncountable noun. So we use the singular verb was. A lot of hard work was done by me. A lot of young men dash looking for jobs. The noun following the phrase a lot of is countable. So we use the plural verb are. A lot of young men are looking for jobs. A lot of my time was wasted in playing video games. Can we count time? No, right? So it is uncountable and hence the verb which follows it is singular. A lot of my time was wasted in playing video games. Isn't this easy? Just remember, singular verb for uncountable and plural verb for countable. When I say one of my students didn't do homework, then I mean that only one student didn't do homework. Singular. So it takes a singular verb. Look at this example. One of the actors is leaving the show. Even though the noun actors is plural, the phrase one of the actors means only one actor. So it takes the singular verb is. One of the students is not wearing full uniform. Also, words that express money, distance and time always take singular verbs. 50 miles is not a short distance. The subject here, 50 miles, is plural, but it takes a singular verb because the subject expresses distance. 1,000 rupees a day is his wage. The subject 1,000 rupees is plural, but the singular verb should be used because the subject expresses an amount of money. The subject 2 hours is plural but singular verb is used because the subject expresses time. 2 hours was not enough for me. So our learning from this is if the subject expresses time, money or distance, then singular verb should be used. Time, money, distance. Reminds us of a good trip, doesn't it? So we have covered the basics. Let's do a quick recap with the help of this exercise. Number 1. There dash an apple on the table. When a sentence begins with there, look for the noun or pronoun that immediately follows the verb. An apple. The verb should agree with it. Since an apple is singular, we use the verb is. There is an apple. Number 2. There are some books in that box. We use plural verb because the noun that follows books is plural. Number 3. Any sentence that begins with the phrase pair takes a singular verb because a pair means one. This pair of shoes is very costly. Number 4. When any sentence begins with the phrase a lot of, we should use the singular verb if the noun following it is uncountable and the plural verb if the noun is countable. A lot of effort dash put into this. Effort is an uncountable noun, so we use the singular verb was. A lot of effort was put into this. In the fifth sentence, gifts is countable, so we use the plural verb were. A lot of gifts were distributed to the children. Number 6. One of my friends. One of my friends mean one friend. It's a singular subject, so it takes a singular verb after it. One of my friends is throwing a party today. Number 7. Subjects expressing time, distance and money always take a singular verb. The subject, the last 50 kilometers, expresses distance, so it takes the singular verb was. The last 50 kilometers was not covered by the athlete. We have come to the end of the class. I hope this class was useful to you. As I said in the beginning, this is a very important chapter which helps us speak and write grammatically correct English. So if you haven't understood any part of it, please give it a try again by going back to that part and listening to it again. Check your understanding by trying out the worksheet in the description below as well. Let's meet in the next class. Until then, remember this. I love you all.